I'm standing in your house, serving justice to a man who stole your vibranium and murdered your people. Justice your king couldn't deliver.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the movie villains who we can best see bits of ourselves in, even when we might not want to. Some spoilers ahead.
We're so happy you found us.
Number 10, Tyler Durden, Fight Club.
Things you own end up owning you.
If you were a teenager when you saw Fight Club, there's a good chance you sort of bought into Tyler's whole deal. Not the literal underground fighting ring so much, but more the idea that you wanted to stick it to the man. Capitalism feels more and more like a prison every day, and Tyler is the ultimate embodiment of that belief.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
What draws the narrator to Tyler is his lack of respect for authority and his desire to rebel against the system. And, well, the fact that Tyler might be his alter ego. But that's a story for another day. The audience is drawn to Tyler for those same reasons. Even when things get bad, you can't help but admit he's one cool guy.
If you were to die right now, how would you feel about your life?
Number 9, Kylo Ren, Star Wars franchise.
You know I can take whatever I want.
The Star Wars franchise has a knack for turning villains into beloved characters. The prequel trilogy showed us Anakin Skywalker's path to becoming Darth Vader and made him, at least slightly, more sympathetic. But in the sequel trilogy, they did a much better job doing the same thing to a new character, Kylo Ren. Kylo is Leia and Han's child, who broke bad and becomes the big villain for the sequel series.
Your son, he's gone. He was weak and foolish, like his father. So I destroyed him.
But in The Last Jedi, we learn why. Turns out, Luke sensed that Kylo might have an evil side inside of him and contemplated killing him. Hey, if you found out your uncle was considering taking you out in your sleep, you might hold a bit of a grudge.
I'll destroy her. And you. And all of it.
Number 8, Shere Khan, The Jungle Book.
He is lost. He ran away.
How delightful.
You remember The Jungle Book, that fun kids movie where a kid named Mowgli is raised by wolves and makes friends with a cuddly bear and reluctantly caring panther? And said bear and said panther have to try and save him from a terrifying tiger out to destroy everything human that comes across his path? That's the one.
Then you should also know that everyone runs from Shere Khan.
But hear us out. Shere Khan might not have reason to hold a grudge against Mowgli personally, but he has more than enough reasons to hate humans as a group. Historically, humans take over tiger habitats and reduce the amount of prey in the area. And the popularity of tiger hunting in the past, don't get us started.
I'll kill you for this.
Number 7, The Wicked Witch of the West, The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is one of those stories where there isn't much nuance as far as good and evil go.
I thought you said she was dead. That was her sister, the Wicked Witch of the East. This is the Wicked Witch of the West. She's worse than the other one was.
When you literally nickname your opposing characters Glinda the Good and the Wicked Witch of the West, you're not leaving much room for interpretation. But in all honesty, doesn't the Wicked Witch sort of have a really good reason to be upset with Dorothy?
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
After all, Dorothy's house lands on top of her sister and kills her. And with the way everyone celebrates after, it's enough to make anyone feel a little prickly. If you think about it, she's really just trying to honor her sister's memory.
Oh, please give me back my dog. Certainly, certainly. When you give me those slippers.
Number 6, Raul Silva, Skyfall. Sometimes, revenge is the most relatable motivation of all. In Skyfall, the third Daniel Craig James Bond film, a new villain comes to light, but Raul Silva has more than just destruction on his mind.
Chasing spice. Oh, it's so old-fashioned.
He's after a very specific thing, and that's M, the leader of MI6. Turns out, before Bond came into the picture, Silva worked for MI6 and was M's favorite. But when he was arrested in Hong Kong, she didn't come to his defense.
Life clung to me like a disease.
The result? He wasted away in prison for years, his face permanently scarred from a nasty encounter with cyanide.
Look upon your work.
You can't help but admit you would probably want to get back at the person who did that to you.
All this jumping and fighting.
It's exhausting.
Number 5. Gollum, the Lord of the Rings franchise. Who among us hasn't fallen under the spell of something shiny? By the time we meet Gollum in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, he's a terrifying creature.
They're thieves. They're thieves. They're filthy little thieves.
But as he continues on his journey with Sam and Frodo, we start to see the other side of him, literally. If you ask us how we feel about Gollum, we might not have very nice things to say. But if you asked us how we feel about Smeagol, we might change our tune a bit.
We are famished. Yes, famished we are, precious.
Smeagol was Gollum's original name and comes across as a sweet, if sometimes pathetic creature who lost in a fight with something much more powerful than he. And we all know what it's like to fight a battle and lose.
He wants the precious. Always, he's looking for it.
Number 4. Roy Batty, Blade Runner. Feeling used is one of the worst feelings in the world, and that's a feeling that Roy Batty knows all too well in Blade Runner.
If only you could see what I've seen with your eyes.
In the film's dystopian world, Baddy is the leader of a group of rebel replicants who are sick and tired of being used to do humanity's dirty work. When it comes down to it, Baddy's completely right.
What seems to be the problem? Death.
Some of his methods might be questionable, but he's working to take down an evil empire that should be disposed of. Heck, even our ostensible hero, Rick Deckard, is reluctant to take Baddy down. That has to count for something.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Number 3. The Grinch. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The idea of being a Grinch is omnipresent in our culture, and a name that nobody wants to be called around the holidays. But honestly, holidays can be really hard. It's normal to be sad around the holidays, especially if they bring up terrible memories for you.
You don't have a chance with her. You're 8 years old and you have a beard.
In the Grinch's case, they do just that. When the Grinch was just a kid, a group of mean kids at school made fun of him for everything under the sun.
Look at that hack job!
It all came to a head around Christmas, causing the Grinch to lash out and leave Whoville forever. Now Christmas, something that's supposed to be a time of joy, just brings up feelings of sadness.
He went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up.
Number 2. Eric Killmonger Stevens, Black Panther. You have to admit, he's got a point.
These items aren't for sale.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price?
In Black Panther, Eric Stevens, also known as Killmonger, loses his father at a young age. When he finds out he is Wakandan and makes it to the country, he decides something has to change.
You ain't the son of a king, you are a son of a murderer!
Killmonger is narcissistic and power-hungry, and makes mistake after mistake when it comes to diplomacy. But his ideas about how Wakanda should reach out and help people in need across the world aren't wrong. They're so right, in fact, that the country ends up adopting them by the end of the movie.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The Dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. You'd be upset if puny humans ran amok in your home too. Eric Gordon, Billy Madison. Eric might suck, but he should not need to compete for CEO against this guy.
Second team All-American. Harvard trip.
Is that right?
Syndrome, The Incredibles. He was just a kid and Mr. Incredible blew him off.
I invented these. I can fly. Can you fly?
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
The Sandman, Spider-Man 3. He truly becomes a changed man.
I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just want you to understand.
Jobu Tupaki, Everything Everywhere All at Once. The lengths we go in order to make our parents understand us.
See, I don't think you understand the meaning of that word.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Loki, Marvel's Cinematic Universe. Now it's time to talk about our favorite trickster. Loki's been through a lot over the course of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's gone from villain to hero, back to villain again, and appeared in multiple different variants. Literally. He's usually a bit of a power-hungry, sly jerk, but he has an underlying sense of insecurity that makes him all too relatable.
Do you truly think so little of me?
Loki, I thought the world of you.
Because all Loki has really ever wanted from the very beginning is somebody to love him.
You know, it all makes sense now why you favored Thor all these years. Because no matter how much you claim to love me, you could never have a frost giant sitting on the throne of Asgard.
Whether that be Thor or his father or a million humans under his loyal command, love is the answer for this Norse god.
Thank you. If you were here, I might even give you a hug.
If we missed any of your problematic faves, let us know in the comments below.
Uh-oh, somebody's fabulous!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.